The man was just delivering food for work, but it startled a CEO worth tens of millions to personally greet him downstairs. Then the man sat in the CEO's office. He effortlessly solved the business problem the CEO was facing. The CEO was willing to offer him $1 million for a job. Unexpectedly, the man just smiled faintly and turned around gracefully to leave. It turned out the man's true identity was the chairman of the world's top financial group. He had grown tired of a dull, money-making life, so he returned to his home country to experience ordinary life. 13 years had passed. The man had become an ordinary food delivery worker. One day, he came to an old, shabby restaurant to pick up an order. He happened to overhear other delivery guys chatting. It turned out a young tycoon had come to the restaurant. What was even more surprising was, when the young tycoon saw the man, he immediately got out of the car and walked over. It turned out that the young tycoon was actually the man's son. The man's wife had sadly passed away. To cultivate his son's resilience, he hid his true identity and raised his son in secret. The son relied on his own efforts and became the president of a small company. That day, he had come to the restaurant specifically to see his father. The son had always been puzzled. Why, after giving his father several $1 million to spend, his father was still delivering food. The man simply said that delivering food was his hobby. The son felt utterly helpless. He told his father not to come to his company and cause trouble today. He had an important business deal to discuss. The man appeared to agree with his son, but after his son left the restaurant, he immediately went to his son's company. He secretly watched his son introduce the project to a business partner and thought to himself that his son was still too inexperienced. Meanwhile, the female CEO was indeed disappointed in the son. She believed his company had no investment value at all. Just as the female CEO was about to leave, the man suddenly walked into the office. He pretended to be there to deliver food to his son, but unintentionally shared his opinion about his son's company. The son panicked instantly. He feared his father would ruin the deal. He hurriedly asked his father to leave. Unexpectedly, the female CEO asked the man to sit down instead. She was very interested in his opinions. Under his son's astonished gaze, the man calmly sat down on the sofa. Then he confidently discussed the strengths of his son's company. It turned out the son's company had recently developed a new technology, but the experiment had not yet fully succeeded. So the son hadn't mentioned it to the female CEO, but the man directly told her about it. The female CEO immediately became interested. She immediately scheduled a second meeting with the son and asked him to prepare all the information on the new technology. The son gladly agreed to her request, but the son didn't expect a bigger problem was waiting ahead. That night, when he returned to his study to work, he suddenly received terrible news. The company's new technology had hit a bottleneck. To overcome the technical difficulties, they needed an investment of $300 million. But the son didn't have that kind of money. He was extremely anxious. At that moment, the man returned home from work. He felt great pity for his son, so he handed his son a glass of water. He told him to rest early and promised he would take care of everything. But the son thought his father was joking. He kicked his father out of the study, then casually took a sip of the water his father had given him. The son didn't know that his father had put a sleeping aid in the water. After drinking it, the son slept soundly until morning. Meanwhile, the man put on his custom-tailored luxury suit and arrived downstairs at his son's company with his former subordinates. It turned out the man had decided to reveal his true identity that day and negotiate the deal with the female CEO in his son's place. The man entered the office with his professional team. The female CEO was very puzzled. It was supposed to be the son meeting her today. Why was yesterday's delivery man here instead? But the next second, the man's secretary revealed his true identity to her. The female CEO was utterly shocked. She quickly stood up to shake hands with him. The man smiled calmly. He told her not to be nervous. He said he was only here to discuss a small $10 billion deal. Meanwhile, the son was rushing to the company at full speed. When he saw his father sitting in the office, he thought everything was completely ruined. He quickly apologized to the female CEO. He said he hadn't meant to be late. Unexpectedly, the female CEO was very humble. She immediately forgave him and said she wanted to reconsider the partnership. The son thought his father had messed up the deal. He started angrily blaming him, but the female CEO quickly stopped him. She hurriedly explained to the son that she was actually reconsidering the investment amount. To his surprise, the female CEO raised the original $10 billion deal to $20 billion. The son's eyes widened instantly. He even wondered if he was still dreaming. He immediately thanked the female CEO for her support, but the female CEO said he should be thanking his father instead. The son looked at his father in confusion, but the man gave the female CEO a warning look. telling her silently to keep his identity secret. The female CEO understood what he meant. She gave the son a mysterious smile. Then they resumed discussing the cooperation details. After the man had done all of this, he quietly left the office. His professional team was waiting outside. They humbly awaited his next command. Unexpectedly, the man told them to leave quickly, because he was going back to delivering food again.